This is what Google Maps looked like on launch day in 2005. Damn, no South America, no Europe, no Asia, no Australia, no New Zealand. To be honest, that's nothing new. I did not know Google Maps was fictional at one point in time. I don't think they decided to remove these places because they didn't have Google Maps coverage. Because Cuba's there. Cuba doesn't even have Google Maps coverage now. There's got to be more to this. I reckon hatred. Map of every place where ancient Roman coin hoards have been found. Ah yes, we discussed this not too long ago. I was saying how strong the Roman currency must have been. To not only be spread across Europe, but also Asia and Asia and Asia. I really don't know how that coin's got there, to be honest. That's a bit of a mystery. What could they even be possibly spending that on? I doubt there's kebab shop or other businesses. The French railway network has shrunk over the years. Damn France. You know how we fix this? We shrink France as well. So it kind of is all relative. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Problem sorted. Percent of households in USA with at least one air conditioner. Surprisingly, a lot more than I expected. Considering in the UK, I think it's even less than 5% of us that own air conditioners. Meanwhile, people in Alaska have 7%. You do not need AC if your summers can be 12 degrees Celsius. That's all I'm saying. The highest is Delaware, 97%, which is kind of surprising. It's a coastal state. Very breezy, I imagine. The German language area before and after World Wars. So as we can see, the German language used to be very separated in parts of what is Hungary, Poland. Don't know how that happened. I doubt it's colonialism. But now it's not anywhere outside of Germany and Austria, of course. Seems to be patches of it right here in Switzerland, which is kind of interesting. But then again, Switzerland haven't decided a language. They're also neutral on that. Proposed peace plan for Ukraine based on Alaska's summit. They were going to put Ukraine on Alaska's summit? 20,000 feet! Oh no, they'll get altitude sickness. Gun ownership in the United Kingdom. This is a lot of information for me to process. The US has more guns than people, with nearly 400 million in civilian possession. Damn, they're outnumbered. Illinois really sticks out here. They must have hella strict gun regulations. New England as well. I mean, it kind of doesn't surprise me. You know, it seems to be a very peaceful area. So the lowest states are Hawaii, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New York with all 15%. And the highest by the looks of it is going to be Montana just by 1%, as well as Wyoming. I mean, they kind of need guns there, I guess. You know, you got threats there like bears, coyotes, I imagine, Canadians too. But one thing that is really surprising to me is that Texas is only 46%. If you asked me this, my naive British ass, I would have at least told you 85%. Crazy. I guess maybe the other 54% are people that live in like the cities and don't really need one. Number of days per year where temperature exceeded 30 degrees in Europe. And they tell you global warming isn't real. And how quick that's changed as well. Look, parts of the UK were just not even hitting 30 degrees. Except for Luton, for some reason. Tropical paradise. But now, look at it, 2024, England is baking. Except for Devon. It's just somehow completely missed Devon. Well, that feels targeted, but okay. And for the most part, Central Europe's doing a pretty good job of keeping it the same. Apart from this little bit of Germany, someone must be running a Bitcoin mine. Eastern Europe has had a massive change. Even Finland's getting targeted too. Terrible place for it to happen to. As soon as saunas are going to become redundant, you're going to have to start looking for other places to cook themselves. I recommend the oven. If you just stick it onto preheat settings, let it simmer for a bit. Who wants to join the EU the most? The UK's at 48%. You know what? I don't really want to. And that's not because I don't want to be part of the EU. I absolutely do. But I just feel like it's a bit embarrassing, really. It's like as a kid, when you'd have an argument with your friend and you'd like leave their house. And then you forgot your Nintendo DS, so you kind of had to go back. The shortest route from Santiago, Chile to Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Well, you gotta hand it to St. Louis. They really know how to take the piss, don't they? Countries where cheek kissing is a customary greeting. Cheek kissing is the absolutely worst thing to ever happen. They do it over here in the UK and it's just so complicated, man. Like, I can't work it out. It's so inconsistent because sometimes they only want to kiss one cheek or like this only two. Or, of course, maybe even 4 sometimes. Like, just leave it, man. We're a country built on fist bumps. Let's keep it like that. Map of the distribution of Urdric languages. Oh, this is actually informative because I've always been confused about why Hungary's language is so different to other nations in Europe. It's related to a native language in this region of Russia. I always thought it was kind of similar to Finland's language, but clearly not. And also for some reason there's like lines of it in Romania. Not sure why. Are they like marching into Romania? And even San Marino doesn't exist anymore. What the hell? Who are England going to play in every single qualifying stage now? The natural habitat for the giant panda. Damn, zero motion. They're just like me for real. 1946 map of Australia that coded the habitability of the land. At first glance, I agree with all of this. Useless. Fast grazing land. True, there is like 5 follicles of grass. You know, you'd probably find more follicles on the temples of my head. Looking at this map though, one thing I have learned, Australia has taken a lot of our town names. There's a tropical Mersey now in Tasmania. Do they call them Stouses as well? Rockhampton. I love that group. Collie. Is that where the Welsh Border Collie comes from? Wait, no. Would you be willing to donate an organ after you die? Damn, Latvia's hella stingy. 25%? I mean, to be fair, it does raise a good point. How are you going to give away an organ after you die? Like, most of the population gets cremated, right? Kidney's not exactly good in powder form, is it? I mean, I guess you could make a great gravy from it. Map of all bars in France primarily serving alcohol. Who gave an alcoholic Photoshop? You see that? The closer you get to Britain, the more pubs there are. What does that tell you? If you want to have a good time, be near Britain. Just not in the 1800s. European unification movements. I'm going to be so honest, I don't think Belgium exists in like 50 years' time. We didn't have to explain it to them like they're a child of divorce. You know, you get 2 Unification Day celebrations. When did women get the right to vote in Europe? Flippin' hell, Switzerland! There'd been 2 world wars. They landed on the moon. England had a World Cup. That's crazy. I did not know that. How Americans get to work. Damn, there's a lot of American maps today, huh? Right, so for the most part, it's obviously cars, trucks, which doesn't surprise me. You know, their country's massive. But I'm a bit shocked in the city areas. There isn't, you know, at least trains. You're like the first country to ever build skyscrapers in like the 1800s. And yet that was somehow easier than just placing some railways on the floor. We can just slightly see, however, New York right here with a slightly different colour. Meaning public transportation. So there you go. There's one place doing it, and you gotta respect them for doing it as well. Not just because of the fact that, you know, they're taking the public transportation and being different, but at the same time, they gotta fight off rats that are taking creatine supplements. Well, I think we've gone through pretty much all of the good ones, unless you want me to study soil quality in Europe, which I'm definitely not doing. But thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy this video, then please feel free to leave a like and maybe subscribe, as we are super close to 10 million subscribers. But thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace!